This is my very first video in about a year and a half for this channel. So where have I been? Actually, right next door. I started another YouTube channel. It was about electric cars. It still is. It's done pretty well enough where I have actually, that's my main gig now. I don't really have a full-time job anymore. And that channel is pretty much what I do now. And I figured, I really miss doing my Alex Nevsky fashion channel. And now a lot of things have also changed. I moved to Sacramento. I am now single. So I think I also want to do more videos about dating and just in general overall lifestyle, men's lifestyle success and how to manage money and just how to be successful in the different ways, different aspects of life. So I definitely want to do all of my videos live as I am doing now, as this video is live. And I've done these videos live on my other channel. So I know that I really enjoy doing live videos because I get to interact with people who are watching. I'm assuming no one's watching right now live because no one expected me to be here. But that's okay. Yeah, so just a little bit about what I want to do with this channel moving forward. First, still want to talk about fashion. Definitely, hey Mitchell, what's going on? You are my very first live chat, a live viewer. And yeah, my new videos are going to be a little different. My videos are going to be kind of like this, where I'll be talking about different things. I will probably be producing some of on location videos, but I think or maybe having some B-roll footage somewhere here. But overall, this is just going to be me kind of chatting and talking. Yeah, no, I'm excited. So, now that I started dating after being in a 7-year relationship, and I've done some videos about interracial relationships before, and I think they're one of the more popular videos on my channel. One of them was how to date a black girl if you're a white guy. I think you guys got a kick out of that. And another one was about the Loving Day, which is the day where in the United States the interracial marriage got legalized. It's been pretty much 50 years, believe it or not. Not that really long ago, where it was illegal. And a couple of other videos also, for example, like, where to look for women in places where there are a lot of women and not very many men, like a tango or a salsa class, for example, right? Because going to a bar, the number of single men to single women is not in our favor. And also, a lot of other topics about how to manage finances. I think I've gotten really good at it. I think I've got a lot of tools that I've used throughout my life to be able to do a lot of stuff that I want to do, including basically working for myself at this point and doing YouTube full time. I live in my own house here in Sacramento, which I literally just moved. Three weeks ago, I moved here all by myself. Never done this in my life. I mean, obviously I moved from Russia to here, but my parents brought me. I was 15. I have never done anything like this. I'm definitely exploring the new area, making new friends, dating. Now, I've kind of been pretty aggressive, even though I was still unpacking here. I was already on Match and Tinder. Tinder wasn't around when before my previous relationship. And it's definitely very interesting because Match.com, and that was the site to go to if you wanted to get into the relationship. It's not the same. As a matter of fact, if anything, I think what's killing it is really the user interface. I really am not enjoying it. And Tinder is really about it's really a hookup app. Yet all women there, the first thing out of their profiles is, hey, no hookups. And you go like, wait, but you're on Tinder. So anyway, so that's been a very interesting experience. And also now that I'm in my 40s, dating is a little different than in your 30s, right? You kind of have to think, which do you want to go for? Younger girls who a lot of times, maybe looking for the wrong things when they're dating an older guy, and do you really want to be that guy who's dating somebody that much older, that much younger than you? Do you want to deal with the difference between intellectual levels? Or do you want to date somebody maybe in your 30s or 40s who are more of your age, but has baggage, some bad experiences in the past, kids, right? That's another topic that I'm really going to explore a lot, is dating women with kids. I have a relationship where I've dated a girl with kids, and I enjoyed it while I was in a relationship, but it ended. The relationship ended well, but I ended up not being able to see the kids afterwards, which kind of sucks. Actually, worst thing ever happened to me. And overall, you understand when you're a guy who's dating a girl with kids, she's your number one, but you will never be her number one. You're usually number 2 or 3 or 4, how many kids she has, and dealing with her ex, who has to be in the picture most of the time, right? If they share custody. So that's a topic I definitely want to talk about it. And yeah, interracial dating still a very touchy-feely subject. I've gone out most of the time. I go out with black women, and probably it's not a secret, but out of what 4 dates that I went on, half of them we had people heckle us or give us dirty looks, literally within about first 5 minutes of us meeting up. And we're here in Sacramento, where it's still pretty diverse. I mean, this is California, and I think it's very good mix of black people, Latin people, Asian people, white people, just everybody. And still, also went out on a date with somebody who's never dated a white guy, and that was interesting to kind of get her perspective on that. And I'm really trying to, I'm going to explore that topic. If you want to see the videos that I've been making for E4 Electric, which is my YouTube channel, that's where I stepped out on this channel for. The videos are actually, there are a few playlists that I've included on this channel's homepage, so you can easily go there. But it's also very simple, youtube.com/E4Electric. That's where I do my electric car videos. I also do Monday through Friday, I do live videos, and then on Saturday and Sunday I do like interviews and on location stuff. Over there I have over 20,000 subscribers, so it's grown. It's definitely grown, and I've been enjoying that. But now I have my own live streaming studio here in Sacramento, in my new house. I figured, hey, I really miss doing these videos, and so that's where I'm at. And I'm also looking forward to just seeing how many people want to interact live. When I did that live on YouTube, now I do it on Patreon, and then I upload live from my other channel. But when I've been doing it live on YouTube, I had a lot of people watching, and it was a lot of fun. So I definitely want to get something similar going here, because also people get to comment on your previous videos, get to ask you questions, and you can just answer them live right away. And everybody kind of, everybody is welcome to chat, like Mitchell is right now. He says great subjects. Yeah, so my main topics are going to be dating and relationships, fashion. So I think fashion I'm going to include in dating the relationships, right? I think being fashionable, being presentable is a big part, and basically it comes down to being different, unique, and different in a good way, unique, and also, which is actually, if you think about it, this is the most important thing when it comes to dating. You don't have to be the best looking guy in the room, because that's not always, most of the time, even that's not what women want. They're not as visual as we are per se. But what they are looking for is somebody different, right? Because guys will hit on them all the time, and if it's pretty much there's nothing they haven't heard, especially good-looking women, right? All types of hi babies and all kinds of one-liners and so forth. So you have to be different. You have to pick their attention. And the way you dress a lot of times is what sets you apart, and at least gets you sort of separated from the pack in a good way. I'm not suggesting, they're tigers and we're gazelles, but in some ways we are, right? Because the thing is, a lot of guys struggle with saying, well, I really don't know what to say when I come up with a new girl at the bar, the club, at the birthday party, whatever. But the thing is it really doesn't matter what you say. Your first line doesn't matter. It could be really awesome and funny and whatever. And if she already decided, either on a spot or before that, if she saw you earlier, that she's not interested, it doesn't really matter. But yet, if she is interested, if you intrigue her maybe with what you wear or how you look, then it almost doesn't matter what you say. You can literally just say hi. Hi, my name is Alex. I prefer to say hi, how's it going? Or how's your evening going? Or how's your afternoon going? Because if she says good, then it's like, all right, cool. But it's an open-ended question. She can actually say, oh, it's going really well. I'm just finishing up my coffee, and how about you, right? And then she's interested in maybe having a longer conversation. So that way, rejection doesn't feel like a rejection. It's simply a short answer. You're gonna say, hey, great. My morning is going great as well. Hey, I will see you around. That's another thing where you can say when you just know things are not going that well, and you don't want her to finally say, you say, I will see you around. And that's kind of an open-ended way to slowly exit. But yeah, talking about the fashion is, I really think this is just a way to, distinguish yourself visually without having to be the best looking guy in the room. Again, that is not what a lot of times women are looking for. So I think I'm going to include fashion into the dating and relationship. Secondly, I want to talk about money and finances, because it is also something that connected to success. A lot of times it's not how much money you make, but how well you spend. You can make $100,000 a year and spend like crazy without ever looking at prices and your budget, and you're going to go belly up very quickly or be in debt. Or you can make much less and be frugal in a good way. For example, a lot of times people make a mistake of spending a lot of money on their cars, right? If you're buying a car, there are a few ways how you can buy it. Same car. If you can buy it cheaper, or you can really make your payments and your down payment really high. For example, leasing over buying is almost always, there are exceptions, a better decision. And of course, doing it in November, where the previous models are being cleared out and manufacturers are giving rebates, literally rebates below invoice to the dealerships. And really the new models that are coming in have maybe one extra feature, but they're essentially the same. You can make you can save some major money, right? So it's really like you're still going to get the same car, but how you went about it and when. If you waited, if you were patient, if you leased the car, which means you need to have a good credit score, that all matters when it comes to getting a good deal. And therefore, don't forget the money you didn't spend on that car, at least by spending it not as much on it, is the money you can keep and spend on something else. And then you don't always have to spend. You can keep savings, because if you have a debt, it's obviously important to pay it off. If you don't have enough savings to live off of them, if you lose your job, for example, for at least 6 months, that's important. That's something you should definitely consider. So stuff like that I definitely want to talk about. And people don't always realize how they can either make a little bit more money than they already are making, or not spend as much money as they think they need to spend. For example, another day, I belong to this mailing list where companies invite people to participate in their focus groups, right? The one I participated was for a major car brand that wanted to know if you're already driving a similar brand, what would you think about their new invention, their new feature that they want to start selling along with their cars? Now, I can't tell you guys what it is or even what brand it was, because I signed a non-disclosure agreement, as everybody would when they do those studies. But it's a focus group where they pay you money. I got paid $250, pretty much cash. I mean, they give you a Visa card or they give you Amazon card sometimes. Sometimes they literally give you like cash, like dollar bills. Well, not dollar bills, $100 bills. It's like a 1 hour or 2 hour study. Sometimes it's something that you do over Skype. Sometimes it's like a notes that you take throughout maybe a week when you're using their service or watching their videos and stuff like that. So yeah, Mitchell says focus groups can pay well. And even if they don't, even if you can make an extra $50 in 1 hour, which you weren't really going to kind of do anything, instead of maybe watching Netflix, you can do something like that. And a lot of times this focus group is about something that you're already passionate about, right? They'll ask you like, well, we're looking for parents with 2 kids, or we're looking for people who use Amazon Echo and stuff like that. So it's going to be about stuff that you already kind of want to talk about. And you can get 50, 60, 70, in my case 200, 300 sometimes dollars, and there's your sort of some extra income. It can really add up. Like, for example, you do 2 or 3 of them, 4 or 5 of them maybe a year, which is every other month. I mean, there's your hundreds of dollars, really. And of course, I want to talk about the credit cards. A lot of people use credit cards, but they don't really ever think about the points that they can get, right? Sometimes if you obviously travel, you want to get points from the hotels and airlines, or sometimes you just want to get cash back. And there's some cards who pay better than others, depending on different people. I would definitely want to talk about that for sure. And third, I want to talk about just the lifestyle in general. I feel like a lot of people don't live their lifestyles that they really would suit them. They live the lifestyles that people expect them to live because that's what people want you to have. A lot of people think, you know, having 2 kids, a Mercedes, and a house in a certain area is it's the American dream, what makes them happy. And the bottom line, it is not. Everybody has their own American dream that they need to figure out what it is for themselves rather than having everybody else telling them what it needs to be. And so some people are happier when they just travel. They don't care about what their house looks like or if it's an apartment or a studio. They're much happier when they travel. Some people are happy when they have a job that's extremely satisfactory, that maybe doesn't pay as much, rather than having a high pressure job that pays well and they're miserable or stressed out or their health goes to hell because of that. Owning your own home is the most important thing, says Mitchell, to some people, right? And then also, I think people don't always define what owning their home means. For example, the studio that I'm doing this video out of isn't my home. I own it 100%. I don't pay mortgage or rent. It's my home. To me, that's the only definition. To some people, for example, taking a loan out and paying mortgage for 30 years or refinancing it and maybe paying it for longer, they still consider that owning the house, but is it? Right? You don't really own the house. The bank owns it, and they also own you because you better make those payments. Therefore, you better have that job. Therefore, it's very blurry. It's a very blurry subject. Mitchell says rent is a waste. Well, okay, so it depends, right? A lot of times you take a mortgage out, and as you know, especially in the beginning, most of your payments are interest, right? So that's a waste as well, much like rent is. However, think about it. Let's say you bought a house and the market went down and you have to move because of your job or whatever. So you end up losing some money on that house. That may end up being a bigger waste than if you would have rented, right? Or you get a house and then you get a divorce and you have to sell and you make nothing on the house. And therefore, rent might be something that you would have considered otherwise if you knew that. Paid off early, that's a good advice, but it's not everybody can do that. Most people have to have a mortgage. And they struggle even with that, right? A lot of people really get something that they can barely afford, and so if they lose their job or their unexpected expenses like health or kids, right? They end up just not being able to pay it off, and it's a problem. But I guess what I'm saying is that you have to define it for yourself. For example, Mitchell, you believe that for you to be happy, you have to own your own home, right? And that's fine. Like, nobody should argue with that. As long as you are honest with yourself. As long as you're honest with yourself, you know that will make you happy. And if you have to pay mortgage, which means you have to have a job all the time, you can't take a break for half a year, let's say, if you want to, you make enough money where even an unexpected expense will not, make you late with your payments and stuff like that, then it's fine. But I have a feeling that a lot of people, that is not necessarily a perfect fit for them, is to have a home. And paying rent, which a lot of times is less than having your own home, because you can have a studio or 1-bedroom apartment and that's fine. For them, that's actually a better idea. Also, it doesn't keep you anywhere in particular. Like, I remember I owned a home when I was younger, and we could move and my sister actually, same issue. Her house went down when she bought it, and she realized that there's something about the house that drives her health down, and she had some health issues, for example, but they couldn't sell because they would have lost so much money, including their down payment. But if you rent, you don't like something, you want to move closer to your job because you got a new job, boom, you can do it pretty easily within 12 months, right? That's another thing. People change jobs, and then it used to take them 5 minutes to commute, and now it takes them an hour to commute. That's another problem that I think a lot of people have, and again, that's where rent is also a payment to the universe to be more flexible with you, if you will. Hope that it makes sense. So I'm hoping to talk about the stuff like that, right? The lifestyle, because the lifestyle that you pick is important. I believe a lot of people pick the wrong lifestyle for themselves. Even having kids. a lot of people believe, well, they have to have kids, right? I mean, everyone's got kids, either they're pressure from their parents or their culture or both. People end up having kids and just absolutely hating it. Their relationships end up falling apart. They end up just kind of hating their lives, and sometimes even hating their kids in some ways, or maybe not giving enough attention to their kids because they just want to get away sometimes. Because that lifestyle is not maybe right for some people. I know for me it's not. I don't have any kids, and I did it on purpose because I have such an active lifestyle and I like to be flexible on things like where I live and who I'm with and so forth, that I know that's not the right choice for me. Even though, yes, I know my parents probably want me to have kids, and overall people look at me weird sometimes. When you don't have kids, that's weird. And sometimes I don't maybe connect as much with people who have kids, or maybe grow apart with some of the friends I already had when they have kids. And hey, this is part of life, but you have to pick what makes it, what you have to pick the lifestyle that makes you happy. So I'm hoping to talk about all of that in my channel. At the same time, just kind of tell you guys, I'm starting my life over here. So I am going to be discovering so many things and learning so many things, and I want to pass that knowledge to you guys, because essentially I am reshaping my life now that I'm in my 40s, pretty much the way I want it to be in the perfect universe. Though I don't want to, I want to make sure that you guys understand that I loved my previous life, and I have nothing on my bucket list. I'm that happy with my life. I've done everything that I wanted to, and every time something comes up, I just do it. I just find a way to do it. This year I started traveling, for example, because the other channel that I'm doing now requires me to travel. Now some brands that I work with, the automaker brands, they fly me out. I've been to China, Italy, UK, and few cities here in there in different states, simply because they wanted me to cover their events, and they flew me out there and I started flying. I was scared shitless of flying, by the way, and I actually overcame that. And I'll tell you how I did that as well. Just fear of flying, which I also believe was the same as my hypochondria, which is a fear of just always having some sort of a health problem, which most of the time leads to cancer, right? If you Google anything, and how it looks like I overcame with that. That struggle was real. Like that was. And I did it in 4 months, and after that I flew all the way. My first trip was to Italy. There's no way in hell I ever pictured myself flying over the ocean. I could barely make it to Vegas once a year, or to Los Angeles. I was that scared, and just, yeah, I definitely want to talk about that. So I think I have plenty of topics, and I think our conversation, as more and more people participate in these live streams, it will shape sort of the channel and the topics that we talk about. So, all right, well, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm sure some of you will watch it in a replay. You can now also watch the chat to be, in a replay, but I hope you guys can start participating. We can start actually having a conversation, and because I really enjoy that, then I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So other than that, I will see you guys, tomorrow. I'm planning on doing it pretty much every day. Don't know about the timing, we'll figure that out, but I'm planning on going live pretty much every day. As you can see, the graphics is very simple. It's very simple to do, and I'll upload it right after the stream is over. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.